Welcome to your weekend focus for September the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th, 2016. My name is Tilly, and this is Tarot with Tilly. And before we begin, thank you, truly thank you for all of the support, all of the positive energy that you send my way each and every day. I truly do send positive energy back in your direction for prayers of happiness and beauty to come your way. Absolutely. So now what's the energy like? There's a lot happening in the sky right now. It is, it's just on fire with new beginnings, new ways of looking at our lives, our world around us, aha moments, epiphanies. Oh, we had a card fly out. Look at this. The sun flew out. It's knowing, let's look at the shadow on there. It's knowing who you are. It's meeting yourself. It's loving you for who you are. It's knowing your passions, your dreams, what makes you you, and loving you for exactly who you are. Your unique abilities and talents, your compassion, your love, the way you express, the way you do, what you can create, what you can step into. So this is getting to know you, and getting to know you on a deeper level or an expanded level. Let's put that back in the deck. So the sun is in Virgo, and so we need to clear out the clutter of what doesn't fit in who we are and where we're going. What relationships don't work in your life anymore? You find yourself drawn to a different type of people, or is it because they are more like-minded with where you are going, or what you do, or what you create, or who you are as a person, what you like, your likes and dislikes? Is it a situation? Is it something you want to create? Is it something you want to do? Does it fill you with passion? Get to know you. Absolutely, with that sun's card flying out. The moon is in Virgo, but then it goes into Libra. Saturn is squaring the sun, and the moon is floating over Venus. So the energy is the Chariot as our very first card. Our focus, the path forward, what lays in front of us, what do we imagine? And the Three of Coins, the details. And that's really the Virgo energy, looking at the details, understanding it completely. Oh, and the Tower, transformation. This could be, well, you know, I kind of got a sense of joy when I picked up the card, so I'm not going to think that it's negative. It might feel negative, but it's definitely not negative. So I guess we have to be very movable right now. We have to go with the flow. We have to be accepting of changes in our life. What needs to be? What needs to disappear? Let's get an angel card. So interesting cards, because I think the Chariot is more of, you know, our focus and our drive. We're getting a lot of cards bouncing out lately, aren't we? Oh my gosh, every shuffle. For revolution. Seeking the wisdom, seeking the understanding, revolutionizing your life of who you are. Allowing the you, the true you, to come out and play again, and letting your inner child come out and seek that joy and that passion in the everyday moment. And understand what truly makes you happy and smile. And it's seeking the wisdom of that. What a strong card there for us with all these other cards. And we are in a strong time, so Now we have the Chariot. When I started talking about the Chariot, I think this is our focus forward, where we are looking. We are looking at the path forward. We are also looking at where we are. We're kind of rearing back on those horses just slightly, I think, because we don't want to go too quickly. We don't want to rush into something. And so we're shining that light, our vibration. But we're looking around us and we're seeing, and maybe the moon being in Libra for most of the weekend, we won't want to make decisions, and we can maybe focus on the good, the bad, and the ugly, and really understand what works and what doesn't work, what's reality. Remember that I think Saturn is also squaring Neptune, right? So that's beautiful energy if you use it correctly, because it's going to allow you to see both sides of the coin, to understand the need for security and where you get the security, and also you'll understand where you feel restrained by the security. So it might be an obligation, it might be a responsibility, it might be the people that surround you, it might be the environment that you're in. But if you go on a grand scale and you look at your government's laws, right, we see where it kind of keeps us safe, it keeps us, and it also is where we can't go to the next level. We feel like we are being held back by that very rule that protects us. And so we're trying to understand perhaps the balance that needs to be, the peace, the harmony that needs to go with it, the flow that needs to go with it. Three of Coins is all about the small details, the little details, the fine-tuning. So I think that this weekend with Revolution and the Tower, it really shows a lot about, we need to look at the details of what needs to be in place in order to go forward with a flow, with a harmony, with a peace, with a confidence that we are going in the right direction, that we've done all the legwork, that we have thought it out, that we have planned it out, that we get some kind of vision of the steps forward. You know, Saturn keeps Neptune at bay, but Neptune kind of keeps Saturn at bay, and so we're able to find that balance between fantasy and illusion and reality and empowerment and strength. I've had more computer problems. I know it's Mercury retrograde. The keyboard wouldn't work. I just got a little thing on my screen saying that my battery is in critical jeopardy. So if I lose this, I'm going to have to slice it, and hopefully it saves, right? The Tower. Now, I saw the light right away. I saw us breaking free, or understanding where we could break free from the very walls that confine us. And perhaps they're self-built. Perhaps it's what society dictates. But understanding our path forward through it. What rules will work? What things do we need to change in our life? Maybe it is the self-written rules that we have for ourselves. So I really do think that the Tower card here stands for epiphanies. It stands for those aha moments, those realizations, because we are weighing out the energies. We are weighing out the balance of where we want to go and where we are, and coming to know ourselves better. I think that is something that is going to be within. I mean, definitely, it's when the moon crosses over Venus, it is not a doing weekend. It is thinking. It is a meditation. It is loving yourself. It is seeing your path forward with a sense of optimism, and who you are with a sense of optimism. So you're feeling strong in stepping into new paths, new relationships, new ways of doing things. Those seeds that you are planting right now. And then revolution, 4. 4 is our balance, our security, and we find a revolution or a thought or a wisdom of how we can still have our security in going forward. Where the strength is. Where we can apply our wisdom of what we learned yesterday into tomorrow. So we're not going into yesterday. We did a lot of that work. For so long it seemed of going deep, going deeper, going deeper, going deeper. So now we hit the energy of, so now that you've gone deep, get to know yourself, expand that deepness in some way. To understand yourself on a higher level. And love yourself. Embracing who you are. And yes, even the flaws, because the flaws are only flaws because you've labeled it a flaw. So relabel it. Rip that old label off and slap a new one on. It's time to start making the movie for tomorrow now. So there's going to be a lot of editing, there's going to be a lot of cutting and splicing that needs to go with that path. But we're to take the wisdom now forward, to build our security, to start our own revolution, our inner revolution. Let's see what the angels have to say. So I think it's a strong weekend, meditation, prayer. If you journal, this would be an opportune weekend to just write down your notes. I mean, even if you are one of those people that you don't want to keep a journal or anything, write it down on a piece of paper. Even if you're going to lose it, write it down on a piece of paper. Maybe you'll never read it again. But what happens is you thought it, you wrote it down, you read it out to yourself, read it aloud once or twice, and then set it aside. And you'll find it a year from now, and you'll understand the empowerment that you had at this point in time in your life. Your dreams, your ideals, where you want to grow, who you want to become, how you want to show love to yourself, to others, to the world, compassion, humanitarianism. See the true stature and strength and empowerment you could have through those vices, through your heart. The Three of Ariel. Do what you love. A time of great personal growth in your career or artistic endeavors. Working with others in a cooperative manner. Yes, working with others in a cooperative manner. The moon is going to be in Libra all weekend for the most part, and so it is about finding the harmony, finding the balance, seeking friendship, seeking, this is where we can actually compromise ourselves if we use the energy incorrectly by appeasing the other person too much, of allowing them to have their say, of seeing both sides of the arguments if you're stuck in the middle, or even seeing both sides of the argument between the two of you, the discussion, the different viewpoints, the different ways of seeing things. Do what you love, a great time of personal growth in your career and artistic endeavors. So become who you want to become. See it. Decision. Release yourself from that which holds you back. I need to detox unnecessary worry based on a lack of self-confidence. And yes, with the Tower, we're going to see that wall. We are humans. We have free will. Do we tear that wall down? Do we leave it in place? Do we alter it in some way? Do we put a window or a door in there? So we have the option later on of going further with that wall. Do we run away from it? Release yourself from that which holds you back. Now, it says decision, and I don't think that this weekend is an actual decision-making weekend. I think once the full moon eclipse comes around, then the decisions we make will be final. I think if we make decisions now, we will end up flipping and flopping a little bit. Okay? So don't, and that kind of takes the heat off of you for having to make a decision this weekend in any way forward. You start to tap into your intuition. You start tapping into your higher wisdom. You start saying, I'm going to be a little bit more like the hermit and hold back a little bit and go into my cave, go into the desert, and understand, well, who I am. Start loving me for who I am, my gifts, my talents, my abilities, what I stand for, my values, my morals, and see yourself. I think it can be a very optimistic weekend for us if we start thinking about the future path and how it will affect us, and not making the decision to go there, but rather seeing it as a decision that could be made. Humoring the possibilities so that we see all things, so that we turn on that light in the room and we see all four corners. New beginnings. I did shuffle these really well before I cleared them right out after the new moon reading. So, starting a new life, finding your purpose, a forgiving and compassionate review of the past. Forgive yourself, love yourself, forgive yourself, love yourself. I'm not saying it as a dreamy spiritual thing. I'm saying love yourself. Get to know you, your talents, your abilities, what you bring to the world. Stop viewing things as flaws about yourself. Rip that. The only reason it's a flaw, is because you labeled it a flaw. So rip that label off, write a new one. My best quality. The thing that makes me stand out. The thing that makes me beautiful, empowered, strong. The thing that sets me apart from others, that makes me unique, that empowers me in one way or another. Starting a new life, finding your purpose, a forgiving and compassionate review of your past. But stop blaming yourself for things you have nothing to say sorry for. The Chariot, we have the Chariot again. How often does that happen? The Chariot, our very first card. Here we are, the Chariot. Determination and self-control. Career advancement, acknowledgement of success by others. So maybe where you're not seeing your true potential, other people come up to you this weekend and say, wow, I can't believe you did that. That's incredible. How do you do that so easily? How do you put that together? How do you make it look so easy? Thank yourself for who you are. Thank God, your angels, your spirit guides. Acknowledgement of success by others. I can see that your angels and spirit guides will put the right people in place to tell you that you're fantastic. So don't, be humble and say thank you and give it some thought and see the potential you have inside. And one more, justice. What energy, huh? Look at, here we are again. Four strong cards. With the three of Ariel this time. So justice is the 8. Fight for justice and equality. Rulings made in your favor. Don't give up. Do not throw in the towel right now. It is not decision-making time for going forward or throwing in the towel. Don't. Please. Give it some time. When I was first learning about autism and I was learning about, I would go to people for advice, and one of the first pieces of advice I got, and one I heard over and over again, and I found it to be beautiful advice, was, even though it seems like it's an emergency, it's not. You have time. So when you are in that meeting and they say, can you sign here on what we discussed, you say, I think I need the night to read it over. And then I'll return it in the morning signed, or with my revisions. And I got good at doing that at the school meetings. And even when they were rolling out a red carpet for my children, because if you don't know, if this is one of your first times here, raised 2 boys with autism and a beautiful, loving daughter. And the change they had, and that they started to know that I wasn't just going to sign, no matter how much they said, well, if you just sign, I mean, we've talked about everything, I'd say, yeah, I know, but yeah, you know, something might come to me, something that we missed, so I just want the night to think it over, to sleep on it. I'm sure everything's fine. And I would just take a step back and I would read it through. And you know what? Sometimes there were revisions to be made. Most times I just signed it and handed it back in. And they didn't like that I did that. I think they felt worried. They were concerned at what I might come back with. So you have time. Very few things are really truly emergencies. And for that, we dial the emergency number and we bring in help immediately. So if you think that your life is a 911 call, then please reach out for help. Don't sit isolated. Okay, because this energy can also really pull you down and really take you to depressive things like, I can't do that. What am I thinking about? What will people think of me? I don't have the skills. I've never done it. That's for younger kids to start their lives. And I'm not at that point in my life. I'm supposed to be going the other way. Says who? Says society? Says a commercial? Says your doctor? Maybe? Your doctor might be right. But you can still, I remember saying to one person, and they were 60, and they wanted to do something that would be a 3 to 5 year plan, and they said, well, I'm 60. And I said, oh, you plan on dying when you're 65? And they were, well, no. I said, well, what? And he goes, well, 85, 90, 95, whatever he said at the time. I said, well, you got 30 years, so you got a 3 to 5 year plan, and you got about 20 years to enjoy your plan. Let's see what our animals have to say. So don't use the excuses that you have been using. Remember, in the September video I talk about is looking at our repetitive actions, what we do over and over again, and we expect different results this time around. And that is truly the definition of insanity, to do the same thing over and over again and expect something new to come out of it. We have to change something. We have to look at what we're doing and consciously take control of where we want to go, who we want to become. That was a weird cut. And we have See the Beauty Around You, the Swan. See the beauty around you and within you, please. I think that's even more important. Partnership, beauty, grace, elegance. Oh, is everybody saying it that usually watches me? I didn't even realize at the time. A dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep. In dreams you will lose your heartaches. Whatever you wish for, you keep. Have faith in your dreams, and someday your rainbow will come smiling through. No matter how your heart is grieving, if you keep on believing, the dreams that you wish will come true. The swan is often associated with the transition from the ugly duckling to the beautiful swan. And in this message, Swan wants you to know that you have been beautiful since the moment of your conception. Doesn't this go with the reading? Your spirit is something that people find beautiful, and Swan wants to remind you that you are loved very much. Swans tell you to look deeper within and around yourself, to see the beauty all around you. I really just, I can't make this stuff up when it happens. It's exactly what we were talking about, isn't it? Seeing the beauty of who you are, loving you for who you are. So go deeper within and around yourself to see the beauty all around you. It can be just the simple things like a flower blooming on the side of the road to a smile to a stranger. Beautiful surrounds you. You may be doubting your love relationship, but Swan reassures you that your partnership is strong. If you are not in a love relationship, oh, the book almost flipped away. This is an indication that a long-lasting and beautiful relationship is right in the next pond. But I really think, it's about our dreams, it's about our wishes. We really need to keep it positive. I think with the moon going over Venus, it gives us a sense of optimism and dreaminess, but that Saturn Sun square is going to keep us grounded and not letting us drift off into fantasy, but yet to show us the true potential of where we can go, thus bringing in the aha moments, the beauty that we are walking into. And I've talked way too much tonight. So please enjoy your weekend, and remember, I do love you.